What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Real Combat. I am your host, Mick Manhattan, and this is the first show, so I want audience participation if you're there. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to have two movie buffs go head to head. They pick the movie. I'm blind to it. I have no idea what they've chosen. This time it is a horror edition because it's October, and we're celebrating our Halloween Horrorfest here at the Scene Snobs. So I'm bringing in Brandon, and I'm bringing in Paul. They both have chosen movies. They're going to state their cases on why I should watch the movies they chose. By the end of it, after a bitter battle, I will decide. Now, if this keeps going and we keep doing this, we're going to have a tournament of champions and a tournament of losers, but we'll get there. Let's start with tonight. I'm bringing in my first guest, Mr. Brandon Salisbury. How you doing, sir?
Doing great. How about yourself?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for joining us. I would love it if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and what's your favorite genre?
A little bit about myself. I'm an indie screenwriter, film director. Got a lot of projects in the works. I had the distinct honor of recently having a screenplay rejected by Warner Brothers. Threw my name out there, but that was kind of a big step for me. Even though it got rejected, I put my name out there. I've been working with some people behind the scenes, so I got some projects upcoming, some really big stuff.
Nice, man.
My favorite genre is horror. It's what I grew up with. My mother introduced horror to me. John Carpenter, Wes Craven, George Romero, all that when I was like 5 or 6. She had a whole stack of VHS tapes. So, a lot of the classics I'm really, really fond of.
Very cool. I love it, man. And we have another guest on here tonight. Mr. Paul Dunn is joining us, and he's going to explain a little bit about himself. Here, let me get you guys in the right position. There you go. So you match my little banner down at the bottom. Paul, tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about what's your favorite genre.
My favorite genre is going to be horror. As for what to know about me, I've always watched movies. Growing up, my parents were never big into horror, but I always enjoyed it because I like getting a little scared and spooked out. But I was introduced more into the classics, and my mom's huge in musicals. So it's all South Pacific, Fiddler on the Roof, things like that for me growing up. But It's been horror ever since I've been able to choose my own movies. So
very cool. And you both have John Carpenter's The Thing on your bodies, and I love it. Now, I don't know what you've chosen. The audience doesn't know what you've chosen. You both, each other, do not know what you've chosen. So before you answer, I'm going to let everybody know who's watching. You guys can vote along. Now, I have the ultimate vote on who wins and what I watch tonight. But I would love to hear what the audience has to say. So, without further ado, let's get started. Brandon, what have you chosen?
Well, as long as we haven't chose the same thing, I've decided to choose John Carpenter's 1982 classic, The Thing.
Very nice. I love it. Paul, what have you chosen?
I have chosen the movie 2016, The Void.
Ooh. The Void. Okay, interesting. One I've seen and one I've seen. All right, but I like both movies, so we're starting out strong. Now, Brandon, you're going to start because when I said it was flip of a coin, I actually meant like whoever had the oldest movie was going to go first. So, Brandon, you're gonna start. Tell us how you feel about The Thing. Let's start there, and then Paul will go to you, and you tell me about The Void.
All right, so do you want like an overview of the movie, or you just want personal opinion?
What it means to you, sir.
Well, for me, The Thing means a lot to me. One, because it was one of the earliest horror films that I had seen. In fact, I'm old enough to actually remember it being on television for the first time when it started airing on USA. So it's just probably the ultimate in not only 80s horror, but practical horror, body horror, and just claustrophobia and paranoia. I think everything about it is perfect. I can easily argue that it is one of the greatest, if not the greatest horror film ever created, and has not only a stellar cast, great music, cinematography, special effects, and has many of the icons that we grew up loving. And that's it. I mean, it's
love
just
it.
the classic.
Now, Paul, tell me, what does the void mean to you, sir?
I mean, it's hard to go against the thing, especially when I'm wearing a shirt and I got the picture behind me too, because obviously I agree with him. I tried choosing something a little different, and I'm glad I did. The void really kind of hit home with how the thing was. So I think if I've ever had a runner-up for how the thing made me feel, especially with the practical effects and everything, the void is probably the closest and most comfortable I've ever gotten to it. I will also say, because of how the void touches on kind of a cult, so a little supernatural mixed with sci-fi, and the claustrophobia as well, being trapped in a hospital, and the unknown. I feel like that's usually one of my first recommendations when anyone's like, oh, well, I just want a good horror movie that I haven't seen. Most people haven't seen The Void, and I feel like all around for sci-fi horror, a little bit of gore horror, and just good suspense, The Void is a good all-around movie. So
I like it. I like it a lot. I like what you guys are doing here. So tell me, Brandon, we're going to start with you. Fight it out. Why should I watch The Thing tonight?
Well, all right. So I'm not going to pull any punches, because I will say up front that I absolutely love 2016's The Void. I believe that if you don't have The Thing available, The Void is the movie that you watch. But why choose the lesser version of the same movie? They have the same styles, the same kinds of special effects. They have a lot of the same lighting, but why choose the lesser version when you can choose the cult classic that does everything perfect? In fact, I'm pretty sure The Void doesn't even have a synth score. That was the one thing that kind of killed the movie for me, because it tried so damn hard to be an 80s movie, and it failed at the one key aspect. Whereas The Thing has everything that you could possibly love about a horror film. You have an isolated setting, the cinematography, the lighting, just the entire atmosphere of the movie sells Antarctica, sells isolation. The cast looks like they're already freaking insane. Now you put all those characters together, you introduce fear, you introduce paranoia, and you just watch them tear each other apart. And that's not even into the most amazing practical special effects that has ever graced film. I mean, this is all practical, no CG, and Rob Bottin absolutely outdoes himself. You have a stellar cast with Kurt Russell, Keith David, Wilford Brimley, Richard Masur. You have so many great actors, iconic actors known for other great works, other great horror films, all together in this movie. You have some of the most impressive John Carpenter cinematography. I mean, this is John Carpenter with, I believe, the biggest budget that he ever got to wield, at least in terms of adjusted for inflation and, stuff like that. But just the work and love that he put into this. I mean, we're talking like frigid sets. Like, there's nothing fake about this movie. They actually had cold sets. They had bad weather. Rob Bottin worked so freaking hard. He actually, I think he had basically like a panic attack, or he just like ill health and almost basically died from giving it his all for these special effects. This is the perfect movie ever. The perfect horror movie. And I don't think there's any way that anyone can ever top this. I mean, The Void is a great movie, but The Void just wants to be The Thing. Whereas, why settle for the lesser version when you can go for the daddy of them all?
It's a great argument. Now, Paul, again, I want to keep in mind, everybody know, The Thing is one of my favorite movies of all time. And again, I really enjoyed The Void as well. I think it's a great, I would make this a great double feature movie, but that's not what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
This is what am I watching tonight? And I want everybody to know that this is still in the game because I've seen the thing a million times and I can watch it a million more. I've seen The Void about 3 times. Yeah, 2 or 3, I would say. But I would definitely enjoy watching it again. So, Paul, I want your argument on why tonight's movie should be The Void.
Well, my first argument personally for you was going to be because you've seen the thing so many times. That aside, I mean, you got to pay homage to the thing. But like you said, if you can't, The Void, I chose The Void. Why you should watch The Void tonight. Watch it to try to find something new about it. Find something you actually enjoyed that maybe you didn't realize was there before. Enjoy how it's still a B movie, so it didn't have all of the production value of everything. They didn't have the backing, and they did the best they could with what they had. And I think, as far as I'm concerned, with like my generation, I think they did the best they could for trying to pay their dues to the thing or original 80s movies. Did they come short? Absolutely. But I think that kind of makes it good because it just reminds you that people always try to go back to the roots of what actual horror is and what the masterpieces are. And I think it's fun to try to pick out the things that make it unique. So I think you should watch The Void tonight just to be like, hey, I really liked how they did this, or I like this opening scene, or they never explained that. That's kind of cool. Or these creatures actually look absolutely similar to the thing, and just see what you find out.
I like that argument. I like both arguments very much. I'm honest with you right now. I'm on the fence. You both have put up very good arguments. Now it's time for rebuttals, though. Brandon, I'm going to start with you. You heard what Paul said. Now he makes a good argument, but why should I stick? Why should I lean towards the thing with over what Paul has said?
All right. So first off, again, I love The Void, but one of the things that irritated me was that you can tell the cinematography isn't quite there. I mean, there's a lot that they get right, but you're looking at a handful of shots throughout the entire movie compared to the full package. It's like you got to wade through maybe 10 minutes before you get that really beautiful cinematic shot. Some of the lighting isn't there. Most of the characters are flat, one-dimensional, not likable at all, and you don't really care that they die. Versus The Thing, which has top-notch cinematography where almost every shot is absolutely beautiful. Every character you care about, they're all interesting, and they get you hooked on the characters within the first 10 minutes of the movie. The Void takes, an hour and a half, and you still don't care about the characters. I did not care one bit about the main character. The main character. Whereas with The Thing, you absolutely fall in love with Kurt Russell in the first 10 minutes of this movie. I mean, you're just looking at pure cinematic gold. You're looking at a movie that it's entertaining every time you watch it. I would say that even if you've watched it a million times, find one of the commentaries. Put something new on with it. In fact, I highly recommend the Screen Factory release. I mean, the movie is just perfect. The Void wants to be The Thing, and they did it on a lower budget. They got the actors that they could. Again, I love the cinematography in it when it is good. There's just some really beautiful shots in The Void. But I don't think the music that they selected works with it. I don't think that some of the actors were right for the job. I think the script could have used more polish. The characters are not interesting, and they're not they're not likable. I think they spent too much time throwing you in the situation without really setting up why you should care. I mean, that movie is purely about the colors and about the fact that they use special effects, whereas The Thing really sells you on these characters, makes them feel real, makes you enjoy them before they all start turning into melty alien monsters. So I think The Thing has that over top of The Void. And again, everything about The Thing sells its location, from the color usage, cinematography, even the music. The music feels lonely. It feels isolated. It feels panic inducing, and it starts really selling the paranoia. I don't think The Void really sold us on the paranoia and the desperate situation that they were in. I think it just tries to be weird for the sake of being weird. And even the ending doesn't feel as satisfying because they both have a downer ending, but The Void doesn't really leave us satisfied with the downer ending. Whereas The Thing, you feel like that is the most logical thing that would happen, and it's the perfect ending for that type of movie.
All right. Paul?
I've been trying to come up with reasons why you shouldn't watch The Thing, so that it's really hard to rebuttal. I know you don't like seeing animals get hurt, so the huskies get shot. So animal cruelty. There you go. Shit. Reason not to watch The Thing. It's hard. It's really hard to say why you.
Well, but I don't want to know why I shouldn't totally watch The Thing. But why should I watch The Void over The Thing? And it doesn't have to mean forever. Just for tonight.
Right. Besides repeating myself again, just about you haven't seen it that many times. I really enjoyed the opening scene of The Void. When he shoots the girl straight in the head and lights her on fire. Like, there's so many questions within the first 10 minutes because you're like, there's no context for why this is happening. You just hear screaming and all that, and then it just explodes. And then it kind of grabs your interest at the very beginning, which got a lot of mine. I might have lost mine a little bit here and there, but I think that was enough for me to watch the entire movie. And then once you got into the creature, I thought it was just going to be about a cult. So I like that they took different aspects of different horror and kind of jumbled it together. I enjoy a lot of Lovecraft and his books, so it kind of brought me back to more of a Lovecraft type feel. And so for me, I kind of enjoy that a little bit more than I might just The Thing, just because I like that style of writing, just like H.G. Wells and stuff like that. So that aspect definitely was like, this is something I can vibe with. So I'd say just based off it just being different, something in a genre that isn't always done or a topic that isn't overdone just yet as far as Lovecraft goes. I mean, they're starting to, but for 2016, absolutely not. You didn't have that many choices of what you could choose that were going to be a decent Lovecraft 80s vibe from the later 2000s.
That I can tell you, I was leaning one way, and both your arguments have been very good. I'm teetering, but I'm getting there. So now we're going to get into anybody who's watching. Please feel free to shout out your answer, what you guys think. So my final thoughts, if you will, on your arguments. The Thing, everything you said, Brandon, 100%. The Thing is a masterpiece, in my opinion. I know I will watch The Thing at least 3 times in the upcoming months. Once that snow hits the ground,
Yep.
you can't help but not. Some things some people are saying are, you got Ron Lippert saying, what movie did not have a hot woman in it? The Thing. That's fair. Too bad you can't do a double feature. That would be cheating. I need to pick one. And Ron says The Thing. Key 13 says The Void. I like The Thing, but I've seen it a lot. That's a great point. And The Thing. So I think The Thing wins by audience participation. This one actually kind of hurts a little bit. I think I'm going to go The Void.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, Paul, you put up a good argument the whole time, and I wasn't there because it's The Thing. And like my bias was like automatically, as soon as it said Thing, I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I got to watch The Thing. It's amazing. But then I started thinking, like you said, you were like, well, try something new, look for something different. And I liked that argument. I liked that you went a different angle with it. Most people could jump right in and just be like, well, I mean, The Thing has just been beat to death and this, that, and the other thing. Try The Void, it's something I really like, but you actually put some thought into that one and said, look for things that are different. And I'm intrigued by that. And I kind of want to do that.
Awesome.
I'm very surprised by this. This is the first episode, and I swear to you, I'm surprised. When you both wore the Thing shirts, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I might watch the Thing tonight, no matter what you chose. Because
I really like my shirt. It combines the 1950s version with the 1980s version.
That is a solid shirt. I have seen that design. That is an amazing design, man.
I gotta agree with you on the choice. I have to say that is a compelling argument to watch. Something new. I kind of feel like you're gonna watch The Void, and it's gonna be like what is that? Fruit Stripe gum. Like it's gonna sound, it's gonna taste really, really good, and then it's gonna wear off, and you're gonna be like, oh, I should have watched The Thing.
Yep. You're gonna watch The Thing to quench that actual hunger. That's what's gonna happen.
He's gonna turn it into a double feature.
I will, for one, say, I'm Brandon. You picked a really solid choice here, though, and I am very much looking forward to having you guys both back on the show. Yes, we will have a tournament of champions. We'll have a tournament of losers, but you never know where you guys will land on that if you come back.
Right.
Keep that in mind. This is all brand new, but this is Real Combat, everybody, where they're going to come and they're going to try and convince me on what to watch. And I loved what they did tonight. Both of you brought it big time. Both of you had very solid choices. Congratulations to Paul for winning tonight. You squeaked that one out only because The Thing is my favorite horror movie of all time. Really did. You did a great job. You both did. Your arguments were sound and fantastic. I want to thank everybody for joining and watching with us tonight. We had a lot of great chime-ins tonight, and actually now I know The Void is streamable on AMC Plus. Thank you, Ron. And you can catch Ron on Crossing the Streams with Jeff Boskin tonight at 9:30 p.m. and find out what to watch that's streaming on TV. But for now, I am Mick Manhattan. This is Real Combat. We will be back this Friday live at 7 p.m. with an all-new episode, and it's going to be horror-based again. And let's see what I watch that night. All right, everybody. Until next time, take care.
Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob, and you can check out the Scene Snobs podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, or you can check it out on any podcast platform or our YouTube channel anytime after that. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. If you guys want to join, check us out over on thescenesnobs.com. We have links for everything. The Scene Snobs merch store is open. You can check that out too. Links again on the site. Or like, follow, and subscribe on all of our social media. Again, head over to thescenesnobs.com. It's all there for you guys. Love you, and we'll talk to you guys soon.